Indy. We couldn't get back, or happy to be back here at Carroll Stadium finally again. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. It's a beautiful day in Indy. I don't think there could be a better situation here with both my forward clubs so far. Super excited to watch both these guys play, and I know they're going to put on a fantastic show for all of us. So everybody can take a second and look around next to you guys. Everybody raise their glass for a great evening, a beautiful game of soccer, and here's to Indy. Cheers, guys.
Let's give it to Kyle Highland. To face the officials for tonight's match are Kevin Flecker, Rick Mayo, Chris Trust, and Suzuki Indy. And now let's meet the starting lineup for our visitors tonight, OKC Energy FC. In goal, number 1, CJ Cochran. Number 4, Mitchell Osmond. Number 6, Red Dunwell. Number 7, Sadie Adekoya. Number 8, Hiroki Kurimoto. Number 9, Jaime Chavez. Number 15, Lamar Batista. Number 20, Connor Donovan. Number 21, Villian Bijev. Number 22, Zachary Ellis Eden. And number 28, Declan Wynn. The interim head coach of Energy FC, Lee Bateman. In offense, let's look at the starting lineup for your Indy 11. In goal, number 1, Jordan Farr. Number 3, AJ Cochran. Number 6, Jeremiah Gunyar. Number 10, Gordon Wild. Number 15, Daniel Shaw. Number 19, Reese Buckmaster. Number 20, Carl Winnett. Number 27, Nikki Law. Number 29, Manuel Artiaga. Number 35, Amaka Sissoko. And the captain, number 7, Ayose. The Indy assistant coaches are Phil Presser and Andy Swift. The head trainer for the 11, Misha Tracy, the team doctor, Dr. Ashley Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as I roll your backs beyond the station with the playing of our national anthem.
On this gorgeous Saturday night in downtown Indianapolis, we welcome you to Indy 11 Soccer here on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. For the first time in 3 weeks, the Indy 11 are back at the mic. And for the second and final time at home this season, they play host to OKC Energy, a team they played to a 1-1 draw back on June 2nd. Both these teams currently on the outside looking in of a playoff position. But if the Indy 11 can get just their second home win of the season, they'll be right back in that playoff position, knowing the second half of the season begins tonight. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer. The last time we were with you, all kinds of positive vibes for the Indy 11, a 2-0 road victory in Tulsa. 4 days later and 6 days ago, it went the opposite direction in a hurry. Fastest goal allowed in Indy 11 history, 12 seconds in, and Atlanta United 2 scored 6 against the Indy 11, a 6-2 victory. How must the Indy 11 bounce back from a performance like that one?
Hey, it's life. We deal with it when you have a bad day at the office. You got to learn from it. You got to bounce back, and you got to move on.
We'll flip a common phrase. We'll add injury to insult for the Indy 11. Not only did they lose by 4 goals, 2 key players got hurt in that game. First of all, Nick Moon, who did score a goal in limited minutes before he got hurt. He has an ankle injury. For the first time in his Indy 11 career, he will miss a match tonight. And Jared Timber, a young man that had a serious leg injury at Butler. This is his other leg, and thankfully it was not as serious as the stretch would indicate. But again, Jared will not play tonight either. So with that, we'll take a look at our injury report brought to us by Community Health. Those two join Carl Haworth. Carl has yet to play this year, but he will be back on the field in the very near future. So how do you bounce back from losing 2 key pieces? How about you bring back a couple of key pieces? Jordan Farr will start for the first time in nearly 2 months. Nabil Hackshaw's last start was on June 26th. Brad, what does their return mean to tonight's game?
Well, it's an uplifting moment. I mean, you look at some of the ups and downs that this last couple weeks has had, and you get guys back that everybody believes in, everybody's got confidence in, so it just gives the whole club a lift.
Again, Nabil Hackshaw has played limited minutes each of the last 2 matches. I think he's good for about 60 or so in tonight's contest. Starting lineups come your way next. Both teams looking for the full 3 points this evening. It's Indy and Oklahoma City. Thanks for joining us on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Time for our starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Again, Jordan Farr, his first start since June 15th, and 5 at the back for the Indy 11. First time we have seen that, at least this year and for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're going to see of it, too. I think those wing mids are going to come back and provide a little bit of cover, but then they're going to get forward.
As you know, Ioze is always free to roam about the building wherever he is allowed to play for the Indy 11. Now, on the flip side, for OKC Energy, they played on Wednesday. They played Atlanta on Wednesday and played them to a 2-2 draw, giving up a tying goal in the 93rd minute. So with that, they have made several changes. In fact, they've got a young man in Sheyi Adekoya that is making his first start with the team, a very recent loan from Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, you could tell that the way they played in Atlanta that they were preparing for 2 matches in 4 days.
And of course, Mitch Osmond, great to see him back here in Indy. Spent the last 2 years playing for the Indy 11. And Mitch still sporting that low-grade, that aerodynamic mohawk that we saw of him from back on June 2nd. There you see Jordan Farr in your screen, and what would an Indy 11 broadcast be? But a shout out to the Farr family back in Salem, Oregon. I think their weather has taken a turn for the better, as ours has over the course of the last 24 hours. Tonight, the 9th match of the season for Jordan. Again, he had missed the last 2 months after a wrist injury suffered in a 1-0 loss against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on June 15th.
Well, you know it's always going to be sunny out west when your boy's playing in goal. And I tell you what, you take a look at him through warm-ups. He looks quick, he looks sharp, he looks ready.
Villian Bija standing over the ball for OKC Energy. Kevin Fiker is our match referee. Bija with 9 goals in the season. So back to Jonathan, and we are underway here at Carroll Stadium. As always, we thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. And there are 2 more matches left to play between these 2 sides this season, and they will occur in a 4-day span, both at Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City, because these 2 teams got in about 45 minutes of soccer 5 weeks ago before the heavens unleashed and the power was lost in the area around the stadium. And so the match was abandoned. So these 2 teams will again play twice, September 26th, September the 29th. Indy will stay in that duration. Oklahoma City will have that September 26th match for you on MyIndy TV. Last time out, we saw the 3 forwards up top in terms of Arteaga, Wild, and Hamilton. Good job by Sissoko to pick the pocket of the midfielder that was in possession for OKC. Gordon Wild gives an early blast and took a harmless deflection off an Energy defender. And a goal kick coming up for C.J. Cochran here in minute number 2.
I tell you, I like that, because what you're doing right there is you're letting the defenders know you can't give us too much space in this window. That's going to press them higher. It's going to open up a little bit more of opportunities in lanes in and behind that back line.
See Cochran's stats on the year. This is his 18th match in 19 played for OKC Energy.
And I think one of the clever things about this lineup is you got Arteaga, who's I love him as a target. I think he's great in that role. I think he's a great finisher. And you got the 2 guys that are playing on his wings, just a little bit underneath him, in Law and Wild, as the 2 guys on this team that have created the most opportunities for Indy 11.
Great read by Ioze, the captain for the Indy 11, making his 86th appearance in an Indy 11 uniform. Good for 6th most in franchise history, and earns a dangerous free kick here in the very early going for the Indy 11.
I tell you, Gordon Wild has just been so dangerous on restarts in the attacking third.
Wild has an assist against OKC this season. That came off a corner that was sent the direction of Nick Moon back on June 2nd. Serves that one in. Jeremiah Gutyar racing over to track it down for Indy. And now Nicky Law will look to steer it inside of the 18 and didn't hit that one the way he wanted to. So far, Indy has been on the front foot in the early stages of this match. Last touch by Gutyar, throw it coming. Quickly, the restart.
Tackle.
Ball was not at the feet of Adekoya for very long. The ball was thrown in by Declan Wynn. He too is a new face from last time that Indy saw OKC. They have acquired 4 players on loan since July. Opportunity here for Adekoya. Hackshaw does just enough to get in the way. And eventually a foul whistled.
Veteran play right there. Just that hand on that shoulder, that little tug right there, just gets him off-footed, off balance a little bit. Not enough for a foul, but enough to knock him off stride.
And Neville spent most of July representing Trinidad and Tobago in the Gold Cup, and then came down with an illness before the last match that they were to play in the Gold Cup, which cost him kind of his first match back on July 24th as Arteaga whistled for a foul. Hackshaw has eased his way back in the lineup. He played about 15 minutes in the victory in Tulsa. Played the last 30 minutes in the loss to Atlanta United 2 on Sunday night. You see the gentleman that was first team All-League in 2019 and second team All-League a season ago. And simply put, is one of the best defenders and perhaps maybe the best left back in the entirety of the USL Championship.
100% agree. And I honestly, I think his minutes are not going to be dictated by where he is. I think it's going to be dictated by where the scoreline and the minutes in this game are.
Last time he was a starter for the Indy 11, he had both a goal and an assist in the 3-3 draw against Louisville on June 26th, and he had an assist on the first goal in the victory against Tulsa 10 days ago. Adekoya is on the side, but is taken wide. Plays this one across and quickly swept away by Hackshaw. And eventually a throw-in coming here as we begin minute number 6 at Carroll Stadium. Here's Mitch Osmond. Been 24 matches as the primary backup at all 3 defensive spots along the back line the last 2 years. He and Connor Donovan, who's got the ball at his feet right now, have played every minute of every match this season for OKC.
That's such a valuable thing as a coach. You just know you can pencil these guys in, not just because of the steady play that they have on the field, but the toughness that both of them bring.
B-Jeff. Iose got in the way of that pass intended for Zachary Ellis-Hayden. Arteaga just a bit behind Wild, but allows the team a chance to get a bit more organized here for Indy. The last 2 games that the Indy 11 have won, Gordon Wild has scored a goal in each of those. Against Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tulsa. Hackshaw. Target was Arteaga. That ball headed away, and a corner coming for Indy here in minute number 7.
Yeah, there's good things that happen with Gordon Wild in the attacking third. It's unpredictable. It's creative. He's able to break down entire back lines or do things 1v1.
Fans, since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Wild steers it in, looking back post, and nobody there. Wynn will send it sideways for an Indy 11 throw-in. And Law told to back up just a little bit. Reese Buckmaster now will take it. And the IU teammates in Buckmaster and Gutjahr both on the pitch tonight for Indy. Because of the injuries that we mentioned, this is probably the least amount of depth that we have seen for an Indy 11 lineup so far this year. In fact, there are 2 players dressing tonight that have yet to appear in an Indy 11 match. One of them was signed on Monday. That is Chris Revelorio, one of 4 players brought in on an academy contract as of Monday. He is 17. The other player is Aiden Liu. We've seen him in the 18, but he's yet to play in a match this year. Young defender from Chicago that is on loan from his team in Denmark.
It's a great win by Matt. Look at Navio.
Blocked by B-Jeff. B-Jeff, the leading goal scorer for the OKC Energy. And speaking of BJEB, he factors into those keys, which are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Mr. Hodder, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bob. Well, you talk about losing the dynamic play of Moon and the steadiness of Timmer, and it ain't going to be easy, but hopefully Superman pops up into this building today. Indy 11, we've talked about it a lot. There are 5-minute blocks in the matches that Indy 11 has clicked off, and it's cost them. 58% of the goals that they've conceded have come in the 5 minutes to start a half, end a half, or right after they've scored. For OKC, today is not Wednesday. Wednesday they came out and they played Atlanta as if they were playing 2 games in 4 days. They sat in, they held only 30% of the possession. They countered, they did very, very well, but they were playing to get points in both matches. And then Sofia. Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria, Rakestraw. It also happens to be the way that my daughter spells her middle name, and it is the birthplace of BJEB, who is absolutely on a tear since June 2nd here in this building. He was playing as an outside midfielder. At halftime, they moved him up forward. That's changed everything. In the 9 games, before that switch, 1 goal, 1 assist. Since they moved him up top, 8 goals, 2 assists have been added. OKC is going to do well to have BJEB create some chances tonight.
BJEB had a goal from the spot and then a second-half goal in the run of play for OKC against Atlanta. Added 2. He is now up to 9 goals. Only Haji Berry of Colorado Springs as Sissoko takes the tactical foul and draws the card for it. So first yellow shown to Abubakar Sissoko tonight. But to finish thought on BJEB, only Nico, Brett, and Haji Berry in this league have more goals than BJEB did entering match play today. And one thing you will note, there are 4 players that are in the Central Division that have 9 or more goals on the season. BJEB, Lancaster, Murphy of Oklahoma City, Louisville, and Memphis respectively sitting on 9. Nico Brett 11 for Birmingham Legion.
Yeah, and it's crazy. When you take a look at the tear he's been on since the move up top, you look at things and you say, why did it take 9 games? You know, where is this guy? Where is this team this year if he's up there from the beginning? Now, thank goodness they figured it out in the first quarter of the season, because it's changed everything for OKC.
Jose. Out of Gordon Wild. Wild with the most shots on target for the Indy 11 this season with 15.
And that's great. Such a wild card. When watching a guy like that on film and preparing for a game, and he's willing to interplay and have little back heels and create chances and take shots from anywhere, anytime he gets the ball, your radar's up.
Guyar was able to keep that ball in play. Could not maintain possession. Off the boot of Ellis Hayden, the Canadian for OKC Energy. A throw-in coming for Jose. This is the first year that these 2 squads have faced each other. This is the first year that OKC has been a part of the Eastern Conference. Same for Tulsa. This match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Here's Cochran. We first saw C.J. Cochran in goal for the Atlanta Silverbacks back in 2015. In the NASL days for the Indy 11 back in their 2nd season of existence. Opportunity here. Another player Indy knows very well from their original days. Jaime Chavez, an errant boot that Jordan Farr will redistribute on the goal kick. Sports, this match is presented in part by Keystone Construction, proud partner of the Indy 11. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction. We build a vision.
Yeah, we've seen Chavez play a number of years. Always been impressed. He can serve as a target. He can serve as a playmaker, and he's a great finisher. And I'll tell you what, they only brought him in like the last 15 minutes on Wednesday. He's got some fresh legs. They also got fresh legs in Frankie Lopez on the bench. That guy has been tearing it up.
Scored here against Indy back on June 2nd. And Chavez is largely a guy that is more of a bench player for them at his age. He is 34, but again, 2 matches in 1 week. He gets the opportunity, and a foul is whistled against the Indy 11.
And the great part when you got veteran players like that, you get the schedule early in the year. You kind of know, hey, I'm going to play a little bit here, I'm going to play a little bit there. You can mentally prep.
Look at Max Rogers, interim head coach of the Indy 11. Both teams made a coaching move in the month of June.
I like it. I like the pressure.
OKC made a coaching change on June 4th. Indy made one on June 16th. Flick forward by Law, and Arteaga did not make the corresponding run to go with it. You saw Max Rogers. Lee Veidman is the interim head coach for OKC Energy. OKC Energy went on a tear after making that coaching change. They had won just once in the span of 23 matches in 2020. And to start 2021, they had drawn 4 and lost 3. But since that time, they have put themselves immediately back into a playoff position. One of 3 teams that entered the day with 22 points that were in spots 3, 4, and 5 in the Central Division. Well, there's already been a result that has gone the way of Atlanta United 2 that alters the standings just a bit. Possession has been favored towards the Indy 11, but really not exactly a threatening moment on goal yet for either side in this game. That's on 15 minutes in. Could change here. Adekoya. See who touched it last. A.J. Cochran is lobbying for a goal kick, and he'll get it.
It was an early lobby. He pointed right to the goal. Said it's a goal kick.
A.J. back at the starting 11 after appearing as a sub in each of the last 2 matches. He had been tied for the club lead in minutes on the season. You see Coach Veidman. Alexis Vizarellis, goalkeeping coach, immediately to his left on the Energy bench. OKC has not made the playoffs in any of their last 3 seasons. They're looking to change kind of their fortunes here, and Hackshaw eventually draws the foul from Adekoya.
And I tell you, if you are an outside back, you need to get videotape on Neville Hackshaw and just watch how he plays.
2 of the East's best clash to kick off to a fall remember when the U.S. Summit and ESPN continues. Perennial contender Louisville City FC travels to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic and a potential playoff preview September the 7th at 7 o'clock. That is on ESPN2. It's the day after Labor Day. Indy has not seen Hartford since a 4-1 victory against Hartford at Lucas Oil Stadium towards the end of last July. Indy will see Louisville twice more, both here, as the season unfolds. Adekoya. Good hesitation there. Also a good recovery by the Indy 11. Had a chance to say hello to Mick Osmond yesterday. OKC Energy was here in time to train yesterday up at Grand Park, where the Indy 11 trained. OKC had late afternoon training time and happened to be out at Colts training camp at that time. So
one of your 72 different sports hats that you wear.
I've got a few of them. It was good to holler at Mitch, and one of the most well-known faces and voices in the Brickyard Battalion, Peter Evers, was out there as well. I had a chance to catch up with Mitch during yesterday's training session for the Energy as well. Batista sends his ball down the left flank. Chavez trying to carve out some space. Iose trying to prevent Ellis Hayden. Blocks one shot. Not out of danger yet. Cross doesn't get through. It will be a corner.
It's well done. Ellis Hayden brings that ball down. Iose takes away every possible look. Great defending.
That was wind that sent that ball in. It didn't look like much. It created not one but a couple of chances for OKC Energy. Wynn is a player that's spent the last 3 seasons playing at the MLS level for the Colorado Rapids. So Bijev will take the corner here in minute number 18. series of runs towards Jordan Farr. Farr the punch. Be a corner from the opposite side here for OKC.
It's well done. You always wonder, you know, you can get your practice rhythm down, you get your pregame rhythm down, but you got to make that first kind of decisive moment to get your feet underneath you, to get confident. And here's a ball that's like, it's right on the edge of his range. But he got it, boxed it away, cleared it out of danger.
First game action in over 60 days for Jordan. Bijev again. Osman the target. Hackshaw beat him to it. Like it was practice for the last 2 seasons. Got across him. Now Bijev stays on side here. Poked away by Cochran. And we'll do it again for a third corner kick in the last 60 seconds. OKC Energy. Tonight's game presented in part by Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Fans hoping they see a winner tonight in terms of the Indy 11. Indy with just 1 home win this season. Not what was expected. The return of the mic was announced in early 2021. A place where Indy did not lose a single match in 2016. Bijev setting up Sissoko, plays it across at the edge of the 6. Chavez trying to carve out space. And one more time, it'll be a corner.
You talk about Bet Rivers, you're playing a little gamble right now. I mean, you've given them 4 corner kicks and 2 to 3 crosses in the run play. You're flirting with it. You got to clear it, got to maintain a little bit of possession now.
Frankly, this was similar to kind of how Indy scored their goal against OKC Energy back in early June. Time Bijev will figure in the mix from a scoring perspective. Donovan was the player who tried to get to it. Last touch apparently by Donovan. And a throw-in coming here for Indy, and that brings a round of applause from interim head coach Max Rogers. Wherever you go, fans, take the boys in blue with you. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Jose comes to Max Rogers for a quick bit of advice. That tells me there's going to be potentially a tactics change, formational change coming up here for Indy. Possession short-lived as the Energy now will restart. Done well. Slides it through. Hackshaw asks for a handball and won't get it. It was a carom off his body that may have clipped his arm. It was not played with his arm immediately. And the referee gives Neville the benefit of the doubt. And in a matchup where these teams have basically played almost a game and 3/4 worth of soccer this year, they've been even at every step of the way. That could play an awfully big part. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and you know, virtually even in the standings too. I mean, this is a critical opportunity.
And that ball did carom kind of the underside of his arm, but
yeah, but it comes down to his feet, allows him to play it instead of it coming off his thigh and you know, maybe finding itself into the middle of the box.
Official gave a little bit of space that time for Indy. And a foul whistle on Sissoko. The possession advantage starting to tilt towards the visitors from Oklahoma City. And he was on the road for 2 last week. They'll be on the road for 2 next week. OKC is going through that as we speak.
Ridiculous confidence right there, building that ball out of the back.
Cochran with a laser pass for a while that was a bit off target, but Gordon with the thumbs up appreciates the thought. Throw-in coming for Oklahoma City. Sports this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Now Chavez trying to stay on side. Cochran flicks it away for a moment. Not done well. We'll track it down. Young man that played his college soccer at Wake Forest. One of the perennial powers out of the ACC. Here's Wynn. Sets it to the edge of the 6. Headed, but off target. Not exactly a spot of bother there for Jordan Farr, but the applause you hear, that's Coach Beedman for Oklahoma City, liking what he is seeing from a lineup that maybe hasn't played that much together because of some of the new faces they're trotting out with a second match in 4 days.
I mean, you look at these last 5-10 minutes, it is definitely tilted. There hasn't been that one moment where you kind of hold your breath, but, well, maybe the Hackshaw was holding my breath on that.
Arteaga. Not as many attackers around him tonight. I mean, it's just kind of necessity, the mother invention in terms of lineups for Indy. They've got talented players in both Hamilton and Vassell available for selection off the bench tonight. But knowing they just simply do not have that depth in midfield because of the injuries they are going through. No Nick Moon, the departure of Cammie Smith from the team in mid-July. Gershon Kofi in the 18 flag goes up. Chavez was in an offside position. That ball was played in his general direction. And I would expect you will see Hamilton and Vassell at some point in time coming up in half number 2. And I'm also not sure if Neville Hackshaw is really 90 minutes fit yet for Indy either. There's Nicky Law. Well done by Osmond. Good read by Hackshaw as well. A lot of times last years we would say those names in tandem because they're on the same team. Not the case this year. Iose give and go with Arteaga. Now Wild makes a corresponding run. Ball a little bit over him, and Wynn will flick it to the side for an Indy 11 throw-in.
Brilliant little interplay. Give and go between Iose and Arteaga.
I think Iose thought Wild was going to go back post. He went deep post instead. The possession maintained for the boys in blue. Here in minute number 25. By the way, tip of the cap to the Indy 11. We don't get to film the cheers for Indy, the pregame toast that we started this year. But the man that gave it was Kyle Highland. And for the fans watching in Oklahoma City, we share our passion for Kyle Highland, having played 5 years for the OKC Energy. The 2 years before that with the Indy 11. Kyle, his wife, and their family have relocated after his retirement back to the Indianapolis area. So Kyle is on hand to enjoy tonight's match. Job well done by the Indy 11 to recognize him tonight. This match brought to us by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. We build a vision. Arteaga, how about that vision? Nicky Law, give it to him. Nicky Law gets his second goal of the season. Let's look towards the Brickyard Battalion. Cue the smoke. And the Indy 11 have a 1-goal lead.
What a ball by Arteaga. And I'll tell you what, Cochran came out and closed that down brilliantly. Law was just better.
Nicky Law gets his second Indy 11 goal, his first one, coming back in the victory against Sporting Kansas City 2 back on June 20th. Again, Arteaga normally scoring the goal, this time a picture-perfect assist.
Oh, what a finish, too. Look at that ball.
Over 500 professional appearances in England and Scotland. That's what the last 3 years with Exeter City. Wrapped up his time with Exeter at the end of January, came to the States in March, and again, let me repeat a set I just gave you to set another one up. Over 500 appearances as a pro, but yet he leads the Indy 11 in minutes played this season, and he's been top shelf from day number 1.
And second in chances created. And what's so impressive about that is he started the season in that first block of games holding a little bit deeper in the midfield, and ever since they pushed him up top, the numbers have grown.
And now Arteaga with the pressure.
I love that pressure.
I do think that's off his boot. I think it will be a throw, and that is the case. What does this opening goal mean for Indy to tonight's contest, Brad?
You hopefully you don't relax too much, but it does get you a little bit of comfort in saying, okay, we you know, it's clicking, and we've got some good combinations. We finished a really good chance.
He's got just 5 home points this season. One of them coming against Oklahoma City. Their only home win, May 22nd, against Sporting Kansas City 2. Another quality ball from Iose here. Ellis Hayden, deflection, takes a lucky turn for Oklahoma City. Then Cochran fighting that sun able to grab it without too much of a problem. Fans, be sure to join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Had a fun show today, joined by the club's all-time leading goal scorer, Eamon Zayed. Congratulations to Eamon, named this week as the new head coach for a team that will debut in League One next year, Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC. And we were joined by Tom Rennie from Sirius XM FC and Talk Sport. He had the call of today's match across the globe on English-speaking audio for Norwich and Liverpool. Max Rogers was part of the program as well. And next week, how about Westfield native Eric Zavaleta of Toronto FC and the El Salvadorian national team. That's next Saturday on Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Foul whistle against Indy 11. And a talking to coming from Kevin Fiker before we restart. Ardiaga and Batista having a word. And Batista is one long drink of water over there, isn't he?
Holy smokes. Artiaga's not a short guy.
Well, when a guy kind of pops out to you, just the eyeball test in pregame world, you go, man, he's a little bit taller than most everybody else. He is one of those new faces that we did not see. In fact, he joined Oklahoma City as of last Friday. They have a player as a reserve that joined the team today on loan from Nashville SC in Major League Soccer.
It's crazy when someone that got some height is in a room. It changes. I sat down next to Sean Bradley one time, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Wild he ends up knocking over Cochran, and immediately will pat him on the back, say, hey, my fault.
And look at the quick thinking in Cochran. I think he wanted to let that ball run out for a goal kick and just avoid any kind of play. Recognize that Wild wasn't going to stop his run. Has to make a play for it. And these are bam, bam, bam decisions. Is able to get it cleanly.
CJ in a very similar position as Jordan Farr, a guy that kind of
both goalkeepers.
Yes, that's too.
Very similar.
But in fact, exactly the same. But on a higher level, guys that spent a lot of years as backups and kind of learning their craft as pros before getting their starting opportunity. CJ got his first look really to be the #1 guy in Fresno a couple of years ago. Played 18 of 19 matches so far this year. Sissoko draws contact. Not sure if it's a foul. Looks like it's going to be. Either way, possession returns to the Indy 11. Well, Indy led 1-0 at halftime the last time these two teams got together here on June 2nd. Frankie Lopez got the goal about 70 minutes in that tied it up at 1. And really, when these two teams last played here a couple of months ago, Indy dominated half #1 and had just 1 goal to score for it. Oklahoma City dominated half #2 and had just 1 goal to show for it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to keep pounding on it, but it was that move of, okay, I'm going to keep pounding on it. Bishev moves from the midfield up top. That changed everything in that match.
Donovan, last year played at North Carolina FC. Off his leg, and Manuel Arga says, hold up for a second. Just take time.
Yeah,
Let's get set up.
I've been pressing a lot up here. Give me a minute.
We talked about Oklahoma City kind of playing on Wednesday night a style that gave them a little, energy management. Sorry for that. I apologize.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Trying to conserve some energy, if you will, for knowing they played twice in 4 weeks. You kind of wonder if Ardiaga's in the opposite boat, as in, hey, you've got Hamilton and Vassell off the bench. Has he been told, hey, go out there and play like your hair's on fire? About 50, 55 minutes, knowing we can replace you at the top end if you're Max Rogers.
I think you certainly note that as a coaching staff, and you note that as a player, but there are some guys that I think you can go up to and you can say, hey, we need you to throttle it back a little bit today, and it's not in their nature. It's not in their DNA. And I think for Arteaga, when he reads that it's the right time to press, he goes.
Arteaga from Venezuela. One of 2 Venezuelans to ever lace him up for the Indy 11. Our buddy Juan Guerra being the other. Fans, the USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud program. Finish that thought in a moment as Jordan Farr settles things. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL strives to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. It's going to need to be a foul, as I think that Arteaga apparently got a piece of the leg of Batista. Let's sent that ball the other direction. And it'll draw Max Rogers towards our fourth official for a brief and seemingly friendly conversation. Max joined the staff in April, became the interim head coach less than 2 months later. Spent the last 3 seasons with St. Louis FC. And her coaches. 2 different head coaches. Great job by Gutjahr just to slow that up.
I'll tell you, Gutjahr's been fantastic tonight. He's had a couple of massive tackles in the middle of the field.
Bloomington, Indiana native. Bloomington North High School. Played at Indiana University. Father, a professor at IU. Spent parts of 2 seasons with the Chicago Fire. Had to deal with some injuries in his time in Major League Soccer. But it took him a while to kind of find the field on a regular basis for the Indy 11. However, he is now getting exactly what he had hoped for when he signed with the Indy 11. Regular minutes. He and Reese Buckmaster in the exact same boat. Reese got time in Major League Soccer 2 seasons ago with the New York Red Bulls. And was cut by the Red Bulls on the first day of the season last year, right before the pandemic. Ended up signing with Memphis and played there for the entirety of 2020. Fans, show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. Now Wimet will shepherd that ball away from Wynn, but it's deemed to have been last touched by an Indy 11 player. All the way back in midfield, so a corner coming here for Oklahoma City. I saw you furiously scribbling down some notes, so we get that now or save that for later in the broadcast?
That's off-camera stuff. I'm making like a grocery list over here for stuff.
You've got a farm, you don't need eggs.
No, there's just a couple things I got in my head that I just want to watch a little bit.
Edge of the 6th, and it's tied at 1. Batista used that height to go up and get it. Outstanding service, nothing that Farr could do to get there, and it's been the case most of the season when the Indy 11 get a 1-goal lead. It's not lasted for long. Tied at 1 here in minute number 36.
Yeah, that's a thing that's got to change. And you know, you look at this, was the fifth or sixth corner kick here in 35 minutes.
Batista spent last year playing in League One for North Texas. And that is his 2nd professional goal. 6'5". Used every bit of that to level this match at a goal apiece. Tenth goal that Jordan Farr has allowed in 9 games this season. And in all 3 matches, even though this is only the 2nd one that is counted, we have gotten to a 1-1 scoreline between these 2 rivals. And in every occasion, the Indy 11 have scored first, and OKC has answered.
Speaking of stats, you're a big stat guy. I got one for you. This is a crazy one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Successful passes, completed passes on the season. Entering the match, Indy 11, 5,783. OKC, 5,784. They are separated by 1 successful pass through the course of the season so far.
Wild bumped off by Batista. Official pays it no attention. So back on level footing. The He belonged to the Indy 11 for about 10 minutes. Good run by Hackshaw. Ellis Hayden does just enough to clip him. A restart coming in front of the OKC bench.
And I'll tell you, Indy has found some success in the quick interplay between Law, Ayoze, Hackshaw, and Arteaga popping over to this side.
Well, you love the skill sets of all four of those players from the Indy 11 perspective. Never a surprise when the offensive buildup runs through Ayoze and Hackshaw. That's been a pretty good recipe the last 3 seasons.
The crazy part, too, is the exponential impact of it. You know, they may be a 9 as far as players, but they don't equal 27. It goes to like 50.
Wild to send it in.
Great ball.
Back post, Cochran couldn't get there. Blast opportunity for Sissoko. Ellis Hayden with a block, and the ball falls harmlessly on the top of the netting. But it will be a corner coming for the Indy 11 here in minute number 39.
Yeah, what a great serve in, and you don't know if Cochran misread it, or we talk about it all the time, that sun in the eyes of the goalkeeper here in the first half in that goal is difficult on a ball that floats in like that.
They're trying to push right back in front. Again, back post this time, and Cochran able to make the play. He will launch Adekoya quickly, far off his line.
Wow.
Just Kaltma sticks a left foot to it. Well done by Gutjahr and Law. Now Ayoze's got a run going, but I think he didn't see it. There's Carl Ouimet. Carl in his 94th appearance for the Indy 11. Third most in club history. 6 away from becoming the 3rd player in the history of this franchise to make 100 appearances for the club. Don Smart 101 and Brad Ring 115, the all-time leaders. Hackshaw with the build-up going. Community Health Sports Medicine is a proud partner of the Indy 11. Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered. Gutjahr will add into the mix. Batista got there first. Arteaga couldn't settle it. Buckmaster's flick couldn't find a teammate.
That was a clever thought, though.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time in this first half, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Ayoze. Arteaga trying to get a second touch to it and couldn't. All right, so give me the coach's perspective. As soon as Ayoze touches that ball, we can hear Coach Peter Beard yelling, "Stop it." What was he seeing?
What he's seeing is Ayoze without pressure on him and runs coming off of him. And if you don't have to watch Ayoze long to know that he can find the pocket, he can find the window to drop the ball. So you got to either stop that ball, or you got to make sure everybody's marked up tight, and they did that with Arteaga. Cochran read it well and came out and collected it.
I mean, he said that in the tone. I have a 6-year-old at home, and I use that same intonation, "Stop it," a great amount in the Rakestraw household.
I honestly think I've heard that tone directed towards me, too, sometimes.
I also have a 50-something-year-old in the broadcast that I say that to.
All 3 of your kids.
Even with a couple of goals, I don't think we're looking at a great amount of stoppage time at the end of this half. It's been a very evenly played half, as is reflected by the current score. Slippage here, opportunity here. Adekoya plays it across, and ball should have been to Chavez. Instead, it went right to Jordan Farr.
Yeah, wasted moment for OKC.
Turf monster, unfortunately. Got Carl Ouimet that time, but it did not come back to haunt the Indy 11. Just stumbled. And of all the permutations, that was probably not the right one to shoot at that closed angle. From the Oklahoma City perspective. Here's Cochran. Native of St. Louis, played his college soccer at Wisconsin. Hackshaw, a guy who has led the league in passes completed or been towards the top of the league each of his first 2 years in Indy. Hasn't played enough matches this year to be able to do that.
You know what's crazy about that, too, is you expect that from your back line, that they're going to complete more passes because there's not as much pressure.
Sure.
They can knock that ball, knock it back. But he gets forward so much, and it's not just him off of a run. He's connecting with guys.
Farr taking his time to deliberate here. There'll be a throw-in coming for Oklahoma City. If you're Max Rogers, what do you need to see differently in half number 2, Brad?
Well, I tell you, I really like the opportunities that we're coming off of these connections here on the left side of the field with Hackshaw, Iose, and Law. I think all three of those really high IQs. And then you got Arteaga popping in and allowing another release. The one thing I'd like to see changed a little bit, I saw it a lot in the Tulsa game, is there's pretty good pressure from the front three.
Oh my goodness. That's a card. It will be a yellow, and you could argue it should have been more than that. That was completely unnecessary and avoidable contact that was given by Adekoya there. Hopefully Farr can bounce right back up, but it was just very unnecessary.
And you love the thought, you love the, he takes off, he's coming in to press the ball, you love the pace on it, but at some point, if you're not going to be able to get there, you got to pull off of that tackle.
Take a look at it here. And again, there's no reason for that whatsoever.
The ball's already been played away from him,
Right.
and you look at it, and yeah, you can see why you chase it. It's a bouncing ball to the goalkeeper. That's a tough ball to play, so it's worth the effort.
And that is the end of the half. In fact, we do not have a single second of added time at the end of half number 1. Arteaga was hoping for a foul, did not get it. We are all square going to halftime at a goal apiece. Your thoughts on the first 45?
Even. The score line, I think, indicates what we saw on the field. Both teams had opportunities. I go back. I hate to sound like a broken record, but those 5-minute windows, you got to be focused and locked in on those.
Nicky Law gets his second goal of the season for the Indy 11. Lamar Batista gets his first for OKC Energy. And as has been the case when these teams have seen each other all year long, very little separates the two of them. A goal apiece here at Carroll Stadium. Halftime show comes your way next here on My Indy TV.
On your mark, get set, go!
Welcome back. It's halftime here in downtown Indianapolis on this gorgeous Saturday night. Indy 11 and OKC Energy. Back with halftime highlights, stats coming up in a matter of moments. But as we always do, I'm take a look around the USL Championship in terms of league standings, stats, etc. First of all, our team of the weekend. Never a good sign when you played against the guy that was the player of the week last week in the USL Championship. Tyler Wolff scores 8 goals, 12 seconds in. He would tack on 2 more, his first professional hat trick. He was one of 2 members of Atlanta United 2 that made the team of the week presented by Clear Audio. And Aiden Daniels, a part of the team of the week from OKC Energy. Again, not seeing Daniels in the lineup tonight for OKC in this evening's contest. So, moving on, as we look around the USL Championship, here is the news and notes. And again, there is one young man on this Indy 11 18 tonight that is part of one of these new academy signings. The other ones being Diego Sanchez, Alan Torres, and 14-year-old Aiden Benitez. They are now in academy deals for the rest of this season as part of the great partnership the Indy 11 has in part with the Indiana Fire Academy. A lot of high-end goal scorers in the Central Division of the USL Championship this year. Billion Bijev entered play with 9 goals on the season. How about Kyle Murphy? He's sitting on 9 as well. 4 goals in 4 matches for his 901 FC, and he is the USL Championship Player of the Month, and a guy we know very well. A team the Indy 11 saw back on June 9th, a 2-0 loss in El Paso. Their head coach, Mark Lowry, was named the Coach of the Month for what they were able to accomplish during the month of July. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, halftime highlights, stats, and more. Indy 11 and OKC Energy FC as you're watching on My Indy TV.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
City double their money, and how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium.
Indy 11 is coming up with our official partner, helping you see great Pushing you to see beyond the ordinary, creating homes that give the international championship. Look around the
Welcome back to Carroll Stadium. Again, tied at a goal apiece between Indy and OKC Energy. Joining us on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus, alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakestraw with you. Quick thoughts on the opening half of play?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. 1-1, very different than the last match that we witnessed. I think there's a couple things. You're in the locker room right now and you're saying, hey, you've done a good job on Bijev. Let's make sure he doesn't get loose. And don't forget Frankie Lopez is available to come off the bench. Be ready for him to enter play.
Quick look at other scores now from across the USL Championship. Again, this is one of the handful of division games that are taking place today. One has already gone final. Atlanta United 2 with a 4-1 victory over Sporting Kansas City 2. Louisville City leading Tulsa 1-0. That is just getting underway. And Memphis and Birmingham Legion will get started coming up in just a matter of moments. Elsewhere in the East, the Charlotte Independents, now with former Premier League winner Christian Fuchs. He made his debut on Wednesday. They take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds coming up tonight. So with that, let's show you standings, and that is even updated from that Atlanta United 2 and Sporting Kansas City 2 match. So AU2 knows they'll be no worse than third at the conclusion of business tonight, with the teams behind them in Tulsa, OKC, Memphis, and Indy chasing them. Again, draw a line between 4 and 5 as far as the last playoff spot is concerned in the Central Division. Upcoming schedule for the Indy 11. Indy goes on the road for a pair. Both these matches on ESPN Plus. We will not televise either of those two. At Loudoun United, at Sporting Kansas City 2. Then back for back-to-back home matches, which we'll have on either My Indy TV or Wish TV. Real Monarchs, who won the league 2 years ago. They're, of course, the affiliated club with Real Salt Lake. And then back here on Labor Day weekend as well. We'll talk to head coach Max Rogers when we come back as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine, Dream. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Back at Carroll Stadium, both teams coming back out in the locker room, getting ready for action in half number 2. Let's show you the first half highlights. After that, we'll catch up with interim head coach Max Rogers. Again, the first goal belonged to the Indy 11. OKC would quickly have an answer. What have you seen that you have liked from the Indy 11 perspective?
The little interplay in little pockets like this between Ioze, Law, bringing Hackshaw, bringing Arteaga, they're all on the same page. They're clicking.
On the other end of things, again, not much in terms of the run of play that would have scared the Indy 11, but simply too many corners allowed, and finally OKC cashes in off the set piece.
Yeah, you give any team, 5 looks at it in the first half from the corner, and that's just from the spot. There's also those balls that come back out, and they got another chance to serve it in. You give enough opportunities for a team to serve that ball in, something's going to happen.
A quick check of the stats from half number 1. By the way, I'm keeping my eye on Patrick Segrist. It appears he might already putting on a jersey to get ready for half number 2, so we'll monitor that. Possession in favor of the Indy 11. Decent amount of fouls, a yellow card on each side. A few more shots for OKC Energy, but shots on target the same again as we've seen all season long. Similar numbers between these two teams. Let's go to the field now, where we're joined by the interim head coach of the Indy 11 and Max Rogers. Coach, as always, thanks for the time. What'd you see from your boys in half number 1?
Yeah, it was decent. Obviously, really good to score the first goal, and disappointed to concede the equaliser. But there's a lot of positive feelings there, and we know how we can hurt them. So we spoke about that at half time, and now it's just about going to execute.
We love the build-up. Brad was talking about that a moment ago between guys like Ioze, Arteaga, and Law that cashed on the goal. You've also got some good weapons off the bench in Voslin and Hamilton. What do we see from those two guys if they get the opportunity in half number 2?
Yeah, well, we know both those players can score goals, so we've got goals in the bench if and when we need it. So, but yeah, it's just about starting the second half solid and then playing our way into the game. And as you say, with the combination between the attacking players, we know we can create more, and we want to create good quality chances, not just shots from random areas of the field.
Max, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you, Coach.
Greg, thank you.
Got it. Max Rogers, interim head coach of the Indy 11, kind enough to join us. Neville Hackshaw will begin half number 2 for the Indy 11. Let's thank our friends at Heineken. Get great deals and catch all the exciting action from an exclusive vantage point in the all-new Heineken deck located at the northwest corner of Carroll Stadium. Tickets for the Heineken deck are just $15 and include 3 other Heineken brands all game long. A limited number of tickets is available for each game, so get yours today by visiting the tickets section of Indy11.com or by calling 317-685-1100 or in person at the Carroll Stadium box office on game day. And I saw Patrick Segrist getting the gear ready. He's not been asked to join the fray just yet. So both teams will go with their original 11s for tonight's match. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. And already Atlanta United 2 has recorded a victory today over Sporting Kansas City 2. They are in 3rd place in the division. Birmingham in 2nd, Lou City in 1st. These two teams currently on the outside looking in.
Well, you saw it in the table there with Atlanta picking up those 3 points and being in 3rd with 25. This is a 6-point swing here. If OKC wins this match, there's 3. They're at 25. They're in that 4th spot. And Indy now is 6 points out of a playoff position.
Giveaway that time by Buckmaster. Errant distribution back to Ahmed. Turnover and some real estate given up by Indy there. And again, there's always more pressure on the home team to collect all 3. And Indy does have a couple of games in hand on both OKC and Atlanta United 2 at this point. That's whistled against Adekoya. One thing that is of note of Atlanta United 2, they have played by far the most games of anybody in the division to this juncture. They're not only having 12 games left to play in the regular season, and 2 of them are here. They have yet to come to Indianapolis this season. They'll be here for the first time on September the 4th. Chavez gives chase. Hackshaw has him covered. Again, the goal for Neville tonight is to at least get 60 minutes. He's kind of returning to fitness. If he can give you more, all the better. Sissoko. He switches sides of the field, but gives OKC time to recover. No problem for Cochran there. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. And Arteaga, when he whistled for the infraction, as Dunwell goes to the turf.
And, you know, smart play as far as Io's making, a run higher up the field. Compromises the shape a little bit. Arteaga comes back, helps him out, a little aggressive, draws the foul, but allows the 11 to get back into shape.
Win the target. Buckmaster gets in the way. I'm not sure that can be considered an aerial duel, but for his lack of height, Reese has some serious hops. He gets up in the air on those efforts. For the native of Auburn, Indiana. Played at Emory School of Fort Wayne plus Academy Soccer before playing at Indiana University.
What a turn by Neville.
Sissoko. Interplay good for the Indy 11. Can Law deliver? Arteaga the target, and ball eventually caroms off of Gordon Wild. It's a bit of a rare errant ball by Nicky Law, but immediately Arteaga puts his hand up and says, hey,
yeah,
I'll take it.
It was good thinking, and then you take a look at the run Gordon Wild was making on the overhit ball, thinking, okay, if I can sneak in behind Mitch Osmond and he doesn't see me, I might be able to get a nick on this ball and drive it back across. And unfortunately, the ball just clips off of him instead of going out for a corner.
Indy 11 Premium Suites, the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Hackshaw. That'll be deemed as a foul. Goutyard cleared out Adekoya on the play. Restart a quick one. Ellis Hayden. Not to Bijev.
Oh.
Cut back for Chavez. Chavez. Not sure how that ball eventually ricocheted out of there, but fortuitous for the Indy 11 that it did.
What a ball by
win in OKC.
Into Chavez. And I tell you what, it all came off of the fact that the Energy had the presence to play that restart quickly before the 11 could get back into defensive shape.
Bijev is Bulgarian, but moved to the States at the age of 5. He was going to play college soccer at Washington, but was signed by Liverpool. He never played a game for the club. He was loaned to places like Germany and Norway. Bijev spent the last 4 years playing either for Portland Timbers 2 or the Sacramento Republic. And again, 9 goals, now tied for 3rd in the league, entering play today, and a brace on Wednesday. Buckmaster takes a tumble, and he maintained possession the entire time. And then Sissoko is fouled. Restart coming for Indy.
Think about that. As a college coach, you lose recruits to all sorts of things. Imagine getting that call, hey, coach, I can't come. Why?
Can you even be mad about that?
I'm signing with Liverpool. Are you sure you want to go that route?
Gordon Wild in an offside position. That ball was played to him. So the flag goes up. Indy's lining up like they think about a corner, but it's not going to be the case. I guess they're going to allow the restart. Guess the offside flag was waved off. And then Wild was fouled outside of the box. That is going to be a free kick for the Indy 11, just outside of the 18.
Trouble.
What are you dialing up here, Brad?
If you put it on frame, that's a waste of a ball. And if you knock it back, I think you have to wait and see how OKC is going to line up. If you've got a chance for Io here off your right shoulder or Nicky Law at the top of the box where you could just go to have a little quick combination and get him the ball in space, great. If not, that ball driven in for Hackshaw, Cochran, we met to go up and get.
And Nicky Law is all by his lonesome right now. Now they're going to try to quickly remedy that. Near post, headed away. Law couldn't track it down. But that was a miscue on a couple different fronts. Law was all alone at the top of the 18. Now looking back, post, headed in! And the 11's got the goal. They take the lead. They take out a few signboards in the progress. That's all right. Smoke Mobillo one more time. It's a 2-1 lead for the Indy 11.
What a serve. What a serve. Completely bent in behind the back line. Arteaga does not have to break stride. It is a dead sprint from the moment Nicky Law got the ball.
Nicky Law has both a goal and an assist tonight. Arteaga gets his 4th goal of the season. His first since June 26th against Lou City in Indy with a 2-1 advantage here in minute number 53.
Look at this ball. And then if you can pick it up, look at the run on the backside. Arteaga, full sprint. From the moment the ball hits Nicky Law, he knows where it's going. Trusts his teammate, put backside, kaboom!
Arteaga made that look easy. The window of space he had was minimal. Picture perfect service from Nicky Law. And Oklahoma City has answered every Indy 11 goal when they have played so far this year. They have one more answer in them tonight. Trying to jump into 4th place. That's the best they can do tonight. When they beat Tulsa 10 days ago, they went from 7th to 3rd in terms of the points. And it looks like the first duo of substitutions are about to enter for Oklahoma City. And go figure, Frankie Lopez is going to be one of them. That is a 3-point takedown by Bijev.
Tell you, Frankie Lopez, pace, technical ability, good finisher. Seems to like it on the right side a little bit more, so he'll hang out there. Might be coming in on the right. Adekoya's got a yellow too, so that might factor into who's coming out up top, even though he's done well in creating chances.
It's like Kodai Ida is going to join the mix as well. Arteaga going to head to it, but not in a threatening position. A goal kick coming for C.J. Cochran. And Frankie Lopez will be coming in, and again, it's Chavez he'll replacing, and Chavez is more of a 15, 20-minute player at this stage of his career, so gave the club what he could from a starting position. Lasted nearly 55 minutes. Ida will replace Bijev, so there's a big threat that will exit for Oklahoma City.
And that may be the factor of Wednesday night, is that Bijev had to play that full match in that sweltering heat. That may have been part of the reason he has not had the same impact that he's typically had.
So Lopez enters. He is from Cuba. He defected to the United States in 2015 while playing in an Olympic qualifier. Has 31 goals in the last 4 seasons, 3 so far this year. Kodai Ida enters the match for OKC from Japan. Got his start in North America playing like Abubakar Sissoko in the Canadian Premier League. In fact, played with Halifax, whom Sissoko played for last season.
I'll tell you, the change you have to kind of tactically adjust here in your head if you're Indy is that Chavez at this point in his career is pretty much a finisher and a hold-up good target, whereas Lopez brings a whole lot more energy and pace going forward.
Batista, the goal scorer for OKC tonight. They began this game as a back 3. They're kind of lined up more at the back 4 right now. Ida makes the run, finds some space. Plays that off the backside of A.J. Cochran. Japan And well represented on the field for Oklahoma City. We have not mentioned Hiroki Kuramoto's name, starting holding midfielder tonight for OKC. Here's Lopez. Great problems already. Ida.
Oh, what a move.
Working around Buckmaster and draws the corner. So the subs immediately making their impact for OKC.
Yeah, a little creativity, a little bit of pace.
Fans, a reminder to watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. And here's the 10 o'clock news from Wish TV right here on My Indy TV this evening. Ellis Hayden will send in the corner. A lot of traffic in front of Jordan Farr. This went all the way out to the edge of the 6, and kind of a wasted ball that time by OKC. And again, Ioze, now having spent 4 years in Indiana, learns how to block out well as if we were playing basketball. Throw in coming for Indy on the opposite corner flag. Io now having spent 9 years playing in the States, having spent time in La Liga. Played for Real Sporting and Tenerife during his time in Spain. And just clobbered the player for Oklahoma City. That's Ida that was carving out some space. So restart coming here for Oklahoma City.
I felt fortunate to watch Ioze's brilliance when he was coming here as an opponent, and the fact that we have had the luxury these last few years to witness it firsthand is just, it's a gift.
He has an outside chance of getting to 100 matches played with the club this year. You assume we will get to that at some point in time in the next month or so. And you hope for both those guys there will be a year 5 for them in an Indy 11 uniform. Ball steered in here. Wild got there first. Get back to Ellis Hayden. Osmond on the back post, and that deflects off Sissoko. Another corner coming, and again, this is how Oklahoma City scratched out their goal in half number 1. Got multiple corner opportunities as you see the former Indy 11 man on your screen in Mitch Osmond.
And I'll tell you, that is a tough ball for Mitch Osmond to try and get across and earn this corner. You got to square your hips up and serve that ball all in one motion.
I think Jordan Farr was doing a little lobbying to our referee, saying, hey, watch the traffic in front of me. And of course, in this formation, the space clears out. Osmond takes a tumble. Wynn steers it back in, but Arteaga decides to boot this ball somewhere towards the White River. Wild will immediately hustle and give chase. And got enough jersey there to draw the whistle immediately. Kind of a tap on the chest of both players saying, yep, no problem there, good play. Wild, the native of Germany. Played his college soccer at 2 different locations, finishing his days at the University of Maryland. For USL standing stats, all the latest league news, be sure to visit uslsoccer.com. Sissoko, good win, and takes a tumble. Deemed to have been a fair challenge that called him to cause him to sprawl out over the turf. We play on. Sissoko stands and tries to get back into position. Ball looking back post. Buckmaster got in the way, and then Buckmaster is knocked to the turf. And Jordan Farr doing more than lobbying this time. He is lecturing / yelling at the lack of a call on Sissoko's challenge, and now Buckmaster will be checked out. Again, nothing nefarious about what Wynn was doing. He's simply trying to get to the ball. Buckmaster just took a hit in the process.
All right, and you talk about how good Buckmaster is in the air. You know, Wynn is looking at that ball as though it's coming through, and I'm going to go up and get it.
Tremendous camera work by our Tupelo Honey crew tonight. Again, you see that just in the follow-through of trying to play the ball, Wynn makes head-to-head contact with Buckmaster, which is why not just Misha Kinsey, the trainer, but more of the medical staff comes out, both to check on Sissoko as well as on Buckmaster. Buckmaster is up, but they will put him through some testing to make sure that Reese is okay to continue on.
And you mentioned it earlier with the lack of depth, and you've got both Sissoko and Buckmaster right now, having some serious contact and being down for a bit. Do you go to some fresh legs at this point?
Well, again, from a midfielder standpoint, Segrist can play that role for you if you need to. You've got Vassell and Hamilton that can play more of a forward position. Then in terms of the bench, you get to Nedeljko Malic, who we really have not seen much of in the last 6 or 7 weeks. Then you have 2 players that have not played for you all season. Aiden Liu, again, young man from Chicago, as an 18-year-old, went to Denmark to play professionally, now is on loan back for this year to play here in the Midwest. And then Akris Revelorio, all of 17 years of age, literally signed to the team on Monday. This time of year, you kind of have the academy kids tend to change out. You have one group that goes off to college, another one maybe a year before they go to college that come and join you. And again, folks, you sign an academy deal, basically means it retains your amateur status. You're not being paid by the clubs. You can still play in college. Revelorio, who is dressed to play tonight, is actually a commit to play right here at IUPUI a year from now. There you see the young fella. Good job by our camera ops to go, okay, which kid looks like the 17-year-old? Which kid is sprinting the most in chance of he's going to get in the game? It's Akris. Opportunity here. Wild did not hit that ball the way he wanted to, so you did not miss much.
Tough, great opportunity right there. Good build-up, good opportunity that could have put that third one in.
Tonight's match presented in part by our friends at Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner.
Look at this. Arteaga gives you everything.
Batista had the run going. Arteaga wins that ball a couple of different times. For Adekoya gets back to it. And then Wild commits a foul. Didn't want to commit a foul there, but frankly, not a bad one. Even though it gives Oklahoma City a chance to get a bit more organized.
And you don't want to get into this last 30 minutes where you're kind of putting a block in front of your 18 and just hoping that you can get to these serves first. It's, you want to hold possession, maybe grab that third one on the counter.
So most of the set pieces have been from the corner flag for Oklahoma City. This one. Head got there first by Carl Lamette. Ida plays it back to Kuramoto. Now Dunwell looking back post. Headed in, headed down, and far with the save. Blocked the shot from Adekoya. Distribution, though, blocked by Ida. It results in a goal kick, and that's really the first time that Farr has had to been up to the challenge tonight, his first match in 2 months.
I'll tell you, a great ball headed back across the box. And I tell you, it is a good opportunity on the finish. A little flick to the far post. Jordan Farr just drags that left foot, makes a kick save.
Jordan has allowed 10 goals in 8 2/3 matches so far this year. He had played every minute before he got hurt, and frankly, when he got hurt against Pittsburgh, he continued playing the rest of that match as well. Opportunity here. Good shot. Got a boot in the way just to slow things down for a moment. The attack continues with Ellis Hayden. And this one, no deflection there, just well played by Hackshaw. Frankly, I can see a major difference now. Nebula's playing tonight from a speed standpoint to what we saw 10 days ago in Tulsa.
Yeah, and that was just a forced error. You take a look up, and Hackshaw's the one defending him. You know you're not going to be able to take him off the dribble. You know you're not going to get a clean look. You're just going to have to hit that early serve and hope.
The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information, the USL's commitment to change throughout the United Against Racism campaign, please visit uslsoccer.com. Throw-in coming here for Indy in minute number 67.
For the 11, this is what you need. You need to possess the ball up here a little bit, make OKC spend some of their energy here in the defensive half.
pressure by Nicky Law. Sliding tackle away by Connor Donovan. Now Wynn. Good ball to Lopez. The reaction by Hackshaw, but not out of danger just yet. Lopez plays it across, but Sissoko was there, and I don't think he was as pressured as he believed he was in that spot to simply knock that ball sideways. It has been a busy day here at Carroll Stadium. The IUPUI women's team played an exhibition match here at 1 o'clock. And a tip of the cap to the folks from Indy City Football. They had their all-star game here today before tonight's match. Indy City Football plays at Coon Stadium every Wednesday night. Tremendous neighborhood community soccer league opportunity now. Law, Ioze, Arteaga to his right, receives the ball here. Arteaga gives it a blast. It befuddled Cochran for a moment, and Batista could not keep it in play. Corner coming for the Indy 11. As Indy's about to make their first substitution of the game. The next stoppage in play.
Yeah, befuddle is a great word. Good little build-up here between Ioze and Law. And Arteaga hits that knuckleball. That's such a difficult ball for the goalkeeper. You know, it's coming right at a keeper. And the thought is, hey, catch that sometime. But you look at that knuckleball, and it's moving so much. Hey, you just got to parry it away.
I give CJ full credit for not letting that thing hit him in the face. It was impressive enough. Gordon Wild looking for his second assist of the season against OKC. Had one from this very same corner flag back on June 2nd. Ball headed across. I think we got there, maybe Cochran, but didn't find a target on the other end. And it will be a throw in here for Indy.
It's a dangerous serve. That was a dangerous, dangerous serve.
Wild has specialized in that for Indy on the season. Team high in assists in 3 coming in.
Has a last name ever fit somebody better? He literally is a wild card every time that ball's at his feet.
A little admonishment for time wasting being given to the Indy 11. I don't think we have gotten that stage of the match just yet. Right idea. Ioze clapping for the thought, but wasn't ready for that pass from Jeremiah Gutierrez. The Denny Companies is a proud partner of the Indy 11. The Denny Companies tearing down the past so you can build the future. Ellis Hayden taking his time on the restart. A pair of substitutions about to enter for Indy, as both Patrick Siegrist and Peter Lee Vossel make their way to the 4th official. Vossel has a 2-match goal scoring streak going for Indy. My best guess is that that Siegrist will come in for Hackshaw. Let's see if it plays out that way. Another sub about to enter as well for OKC. This is a young man that was officially announced by the club today as joining OKC. They'll have 2 subs about to join. Opportunity here, and blasted over the crossbar. And the 4th official is going to get a workout. So Siegrist will enter for Indy. Ioze is done for the night in minute number 71. Boubacar Sissoko is done for the night as Peter Lee Vossel comes in. Also scored last Wednesday in Tulsa, his 2nd goal to help cement the road 3 points. The captain hands the armband to the vice captain. Those two have a combined 180 matches in an Indy 11 uniform at this point. So Ioze done, Sissoko done, 3 subs remaining for Indy. All of our substitutions presented by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. I'm not sure the Oklahoma City subs have officially reached the 4th official yet. Looks like play is going to be restarted before they're allowed to enter the match. We'll get you those 2 in just a matter of moments. Already 2 substitutions have been made by the Energy. Gordon Wild tracking this one down. And a great job to maintain possession while he was sliding on the turf. Cochran races out before Buckmaster could latch on to it. Kuramoto with Law in full pursuit. Good block by Vassal.
Wow.
It has certainly clicked for Vassal over these last few matches. 21-year-old from Jamaica.
Sometimes it just takes, you know, some minutes, some opportunities, and then certainly, you know, when you put the ball in the back of the net, confidence and opportunities continue to grow.
Advantage being played here. Ida. And goes to the turf, and Vassal, we just complimented him, but made a mistake there on a foul.
Yeah, and the mistake, I mean, he made a mistake on the foul, but the other mistake was that the Indy 11 defenders bit on the players wide and opened up a channel for the Energy to attack.
And Batista heading towards the 18-yard box to use that 6'5" frame as a target. August is USL Supporters Month. I want to hear from you. Visit USLchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the supporter of the week.
Look, I don't think you can beat Jordan far from here, but there is the chance to go up and down on the near post. You've got just enough of an opportunity from there.
Lopez has 3 goals this season. And right to Jordan Farr, a wasted ball by OKC.
As a coach, the veins in my head start to pop out. I'm not coaching the team.
Okay.
But the veins in my head start to pop out.
Because you have no hair to protect that, so I can get a good read on those.
Oh,
so.
Okay. All right. All right.
Batista. So that one go to Cochran. I'm sorry that I ruined your point. Please continue.
No,
I do it all the time to take a shot at you, but I still apologize for it.
No. But here we are. You're 15 minutes to go in the game. You're down by a goal. You got to have a better opportunity than that.
Vassal able to pickpocket Dunwell and then draw a foul in the back end from Ellis 8. And now the pair of substitutions will enter for OKC Energy as Vassal is down on the turf. Eric Jose Donaciano, again, announced as a loanee from Nashville SC earlier today. Will enter the mix. Tucker Stevenson also will enter as well. But again, they will hold off, it looks like, until the next stoppage in play. I saw a point towards the 4th official, but no movement just yet. Arteaga, Cochran, Hackshaw, we met. Lined up along the edge of the 18 for Indy. Gutyar elects for possession instead.
Oh, nice touch.
Gutyar plays it across. Wynn got in the way. Wynn has been a quality addition for OKC. Native of South Africa, but plays his international football for New Zealand, does Wynn. And now the subs will come on. So Dunwell will exit. Donaciano will replace him. Donaciano was the 20th pick in this year's MLS Super Draft. Signed with Nashville at the end of April. Donaciano played 4 years at the University of Virginia. He is originally from Tanzania, but immigrated to the United States in 2007 and became a U.S. citizen last January. So again, as we said earlier, 4 different players have joined OKC Energy since we saw them last at Carroll Stadium on June 2nd. All of them on loan. Throw in coming here for Indy. Stevenson was a part of the mix for OKC Energy last time these two teams got together here. This is his 18th appearance of the season, primarily as a substitution. 11 times his number has been called off the bench. Cochran sweeps us back to midfield. Gutyar, a very important win for Indy on that midfield ball. Now Vassal will slow things down. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. They're the official hotel partner of the Indy 11. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, experience comfort in downtown Indianapolis.
Great run by Vassal in behind Osman, and just better defending from Osman to not let him turn. I will tell you, there's not a lot of the, high-level sexy stats on Gutjahr's game tonight, but he has done everything in the middle of the field that this team has needed tonight.
He's exactly what you want from a holding midfielder, isn't he?
Yep.
Here's Buckmaster. Tried the flick to Arteaga, couldn't get it through. And then Arteaga seemed to have committed a foul and trying to chase that one down as Kuramoto goes to the turf. Tonight's game also presented in part by Mentor Insurance, proud partner of the Indy 11. Mentor Insurance, everybody needs a mentor. Cochran, big win. And Osmond will sprint back to play that to Cochran, to CJ Cochran in goal. Law with the takeaway. Finds Wild, who's got space. One touch to settle, second touch to cut it back. Just too many touches before he could do anything with it and never got a shot off. We're talking about Jeremiah Gutjahr. Does solid things again for Indy. Ida and draws the foul on Gordon Wild.
I tell you, the ball that sent Wild in, just another brilliant ball from Nicky Law. So when you got a player that's dialed in the way that he's dialed in tonight, that's such a comfort.
Indy 11 trying to get their first home win in 12 weeks. May 22nd, the last time the Indy 11 won here. Arteaga. Here's Segrist. Segrist, the young man from Marquette on loan from Inter Miami in Major League Soccer. Second-year pro. Another solid night for Buckmaster for Indy.
Good risk and reward thinking right now from Indy 11. You don't need to press it, keep the ball, kill a little bit of the clock rather than force it into a window that isn't officially open.
Well done by Bossel. Bossel slips it to Buckmaster. Buckmaster just got it caught up in his boots. A chance for his first Indy 11 goal. And Adekoya, good looking ball here that Stevenson is chasing down, but Nabil Hackshaw, well, is looking a lot like Nabil Hackshaw tonight. How about that distribution from far? Hitting Arteaga in stride at midfield. It has been a really good night on the effort meter for the Indy 11. And frankly, they should have a little more in the tank than does OKC tonight, with the Energy having played just 3 days ago on the road in Atlanta.
And I'd say there's no shortage of effort on their side, too.
Absolutely.
You look at Donovan and Osmond, who've played every minute, and you look at Osmond stepping into that ball here in the middle of the field. It's like it's fresh. It's incredible.
And again, these are two teams that made coaching changes 2 months ago, and neither team has packed it in for the season when that happened. Donovan trying to keep Wild away from that one.
What a turn.
Wild takes a tumble but maintains possession. Not trying to, at worst, earn a throw in here or even a corner. Nothing called there. Goal kick coming for CJ Cochran. Distribution, a quick one. Can't watch the match, then turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio. Again, we had Tom Rennie from Sirius XM FC on Soccer Saturday this morning. And the Premier League return in a big way this weekend. You can catch all kinds of matches in the Premier League, not to mention the USL Championship, Major League Soccer, the Champions League, and more. It's all Sirius XM FC 157, as well as the Sirius XM app. Final substitution about to enter here for OKC Energy. Looks like it's going to be Brown that will be the final player to make his way to the fourth official tonight. Jonathan Brown from Wales. Spent parts of the last 4 years with the OKC Energy. Wild was well behind the play. Flag goes up. Fifth sub about to come in. Sheyi Adekoya is done for the night. It's one of those players that, again, we talked about. It's new to the OKC roster, loaned as of last week from Phoenix Rising. This is just his 7th match of the season and his first start. He had totaled 75 minutes all year, played 82 tonight.
Yeah, and the kid's got pace.
Yep.
You can see why Phoenix signed him.
Arteaga, speaking of pace, just couldn't time it. Kind of grabbing that right ankle at the end of the play. He stays down behind the play.
That's tough. Sometimes when you're reaching for a ball, you can't fully lock your ankle. And if you're putting your foot on that ball just as it's being cleared, your ankle takes all the impact.
OKC is not obliged to play this ball out at this point. And Farr will snare it, and now we'll stop. Now that we've reached a stopping point, now we'll come back and take care of Manuel Arteaga. And that may speed up a Jordan Hamilton entry into the match for Indy. And you hope that Arteaga is not seriously injured, given the effort he has put forth tonight. Scoring his 4th goal of the campaign to join Jordan Hamilton atop the scoring list for the Indy 11. It's simply that contact that was made as Mitch Osmond was trying to clear that ball away from him. So he gets kicked right in that foot.
Sometimes you just need a minute or two and it works itself out and you just pay for it in the morning, and sometimes that's it for you.
So Arteaga is told to head back to the 4th official as far as restarting. Hamilton is kind of standing on the touchline in case he is needed. No signal yet. Arteaga looks like he'll be able to soldier on. And again, weather conditions tonight are so much better than they've been for the last week. You're not exactly having to pull players because of, you know, awfully humid conditions here tonight. Much more pleasant evening here in central Indiana. Not sure you can turn the AC off just yet, but
no, but
much better.
I'll take tonight. Tonight is a fantastic. 2 days ago, I was putting up hay in the loft. It was like 200 degrees outside.
Fossil couldn't maintain possession. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of tonight's match. Presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Kuramoto to Ellis Hayden. And OKC saw a 2-1 lead evaporate when Atlanta United 2 scored a 93rd minute goal on Wednesday. They maybe are trying to deliver a similar blow tonight. Indy, the last time they were here 3 weeks ago, gave up a 91st minute goal to see 1 point turn into none against Birmingham Legion.
The kid from Atlanta that scored that goal, I think he scored the last one against the 11 as well. I think he scored 2 after 90 minutes, back-to-back matches.
I'm not going to lie, Brad, when the total was 6, I've kind of lost track of who all scored what for Atlanta in that game. Opportunity here. Wild chips it for Vassell. Vassell gets by Donovan. Vassell did not get as much on it as he would have liked to. Again, he was a flick away from having scored a 3rd goal in as many games.
Yeah, he set himself up well for that, and Donovan just nudged him.
Good win for Arteaga. Wild goes to the ground, and now every foul like that, you can take another 20, 30 seconds off this clock. Trying to get that long-awaited home victory for the Indy 11. Again, they have had just 5 home points this season. A draw against OKC, a draw against Memphis, and all 3 against Sporting Kansas City, too.
I like the thought on this, bringing Cochran and Hackshaw up, looking to see if you can end it here. You're dropping Segrist and Buckmaster back, making sure you got numbers in the back.
Ball headed by Arteaga, looking for the brace. Cochran read it well. Once again, exquisite service from Gordon Weil. Now Stevenson. Ball ricocheted off of Hackshaw. Cochran to sweep it back towards midfield.
Midfield does that better. I'm sorry, does that better than anybody. He just doesn't allow shots and he doesn't allow serves from that wing.
Let's talk about this. We thought Hackshaw might have 60 minutes in his legs. Looks fresh as all get out, 88 minutes in. So clearly he is back to full speed, which means he is one of the best players in the league when that is the case. We met with the solid read, and Wynn ruled to have made contact. By the way, a quick check of the other scores around the division. Atlanta United 2 beat Sporting Kansas City 2-4-1. Lou City leading Tulsa 1-0. That game started 30 minutes after this one. They still have some time to play in that one. And then Birmingham and Memphis are just underway, 0-0 in that one. They're about 15 minutes in. Look at the fans in the Brickyard Battalion. A lot to cheer about tonight. Law. Recipient of the ball from Segrist. And a throw in coming here for Indy. Or a foul going to be called behind the play. Gorgeous night. Just past sunset time here in Indianapolis. Wild, a quick restart looking for Arteaga. Volley by Gutjahr. As we are about to minute number 90, we have been told by the 4th official there is 4 additional minutes left in tonight's match. And Indy will play again on Wednesday. And that's a foul on Hackshaw.
Tough.
So here's an opportunity.
Remember when I was talking about the veins popping out of my head in moments? Here it is, right here. OKC, the Energy could grab a point here if they can dial up some focus and execution here in the attacking third. Same thoughts have to be going through Indy 11's mind. We have got the 3 points. Stay locked in, stay connected.
It is Stevenson that appears to be lining this one up. Going for goal here, Brad?
I mean, it's right on the edge of it. I don't know that you can beat Jordan far from here, but I think if you move the ball and eliminate that wall, you might be able to.
He's got 2 goals this season. Chip it up and over and far. Got there, and again, that's the second ball in a similar spot where you kind of scratch your head from the OKC perspective. We didn't have it on camera. I looked at their goalkeeping coach, kind of that universal throw the hand signal. And what did we just do?
And you know, the play on paper works, and it works every time, but you have to rely on the players for the execution of it. And on tired legs, 2 matches in 4 days, that's a tough ask.
Good win by Vassell. Wild. Bit of a giveaway, then wins it right back. That will be an Indy 11 throw-in, and that happened right in front of us. And as you see from the camera position, I thought that was the absolute right call.
Yep, well played by Gordon Wild.
Reese Buckmaster will not be in a hurry to restart here. Indy heads to Loudon, who has really struggled this year on Wednesday. And they go to Sporting Kansas City, too. It's they have already beaten twice. Got to hold on to all three here, but it's a chance to get right if you're Indy. First things first, Hackshaw able to shield Lopez away, and Farr saw that cleanly for a millisecond and still managed to send that 50-yard the opposite direction. Looks like Manuel Arteaga is going to draw a yellow. Second yellow issued to the Indy 11 tonight. And Manu seems to have little reaction to being shown said yellow. Indy entered tonight with the fewest yellow cards of any team in the league. They have 25 yellows shown to them in 17 matches. Ball gets all the way through, finds its way to Gutyar. Gutyar's clearance ricochets and goes perfectly to Nicky Law.
Yeah, another frustrating restart. You got Osmond, you got Lopez, you got some bodies in the box, and you play it into a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 out wide against, we've discussed it, the best defender in the league.
And Gutyar goes to ground. And again, more time earned by the Indy 11 with 60 seconds left to go in this match. I would chalk some of that for Oklahoma City up to just, you've got some guys that are not used to playing with each other tonight. Again, this is what happens when you play a second road match in 4 days. Scheduling gods did give Indy a bit of a favor in this one. And they turn around and they will play 2 on the road next week.
Oh, the scheduling gods that are unforgiving. They give and then they take away.
Ball finds Wild, flag goes up. That was as much of a real estate ball as anything else. And then Wild's got to be careful. He's going to get a yellow, yep, for time wasting. And he immediately says, yep, I'll take it. That's fine. So that number bumps to 26 now.
They had 25 coming in, or they had
23 coming in. That's their third.
Okay.
Cochran wins yet another aerial duel. And Vassell is trying to come out of the mix with it. Segrist. And now we look at our match referee. That's it. It's been 12 weeks since the Indy 11 fans could cheer all 3 points at home. They get it tonight. Much needed 3 points. These two teams now on level footing in terms of points this season with 22. And Jordan Farr will take a moment to thank the man above for playing his first match in the last 2 months. Our final score is brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. For more than 25 locations across Indianapolis, your neighborhood paint store is always there. Provide the perfect finish. 2-1, Indy wins, and they certainly needed it after the way things unfolded some 6 days ago.
Absolutely. You take the positives, not just the win and the 3 points tonight, but 6 points in your last 3 matches. Focus on that, start building on that, see if you can start accumulating some so that you can get yourself back into that picture.
Nicky Law had a goal at half number 1. It was his assist in half number 2 that delivered 3 points to the Indy 11. Again, Law from Gutyar, perfectly placed, back post. Arteaga, thank you and good night. 2-1, Indy 11. Get all 3 points this evening. Post-game coverage about to come your way.
What a ball.
And well, Arteaga gets his 4th goal of the season. Our planned interviews during the course of our post-game show. Interim head coach Max Rogers, Jordan Farr getting the victory tonight. And how about the night that Nicky Law had with a goal and assist? He will join us as well. The home fans are all happy as well. They should be. You see the Indy 11 claim a 2-1 win against OKC tonight. Stay tuned. The Honda postgame show, presented by Bet Rivers, comes your way next on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Nicky Law with a goal and an assist tonight. It was an assist that delivered the 3 points, finding Manuel Arteaga for his 4th goal of the season. Indy claims their first home win since May 22nd, 2-1. They beat OKC Energy tonight. We thank you for joining us back at Carroll Stadium for the On the Post Game Show presented by Matt Rivers here on My Indy TV. Again, alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. It's nice to have a home win. It has been a while for us and for the boys in blue.
Nice. It's fantastic. That's 3 massive points.
It is also the first home win under the leadership of interim head coach Max Rogers, who joins us now. Congratulations, my friend. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's good, Greg. It's great to see the players celebrate with the fans, and we got that reaction as we spoke about from the game last week. But it's just one tiny step. You know, we have to be ready now for the next game.
You had to overcome injuries as far as tonight's game is concerned. You've been without Jordan Farr for 2 months. He comes back. But you lose guys that have been so key for you as of late in Nick Moon and Jared Timmer. Just the way that your guys overcame those injuries to get that victory this evening. Yeah,
we obviously shuffled the pack a little bit and change of shape to get lads in positions where they're sort of more comfortable. But, you know, there's not a lot of margin, or there's small margins in these games. And, you know, we did score 2 really good goals. But, you know, in the other home games as well, like, we've not been far off. So, but obviously it's great to be on the right side this time. And the lads that came into the team and you know, they did well, and it's great for them.
The connectivity and tactical IQ of Iose and Law when they're together and clicking is something really pretty to watch. What's it like to have 2 veterans and 2 coaches on the field?
No, it's massive. Like, experienced players are crucial, and as you say, they can organise and coach the lads on the field and make adjustments as they see fit, and that's absolutely invaluable as a coach. And it's something, you know, the play and the combination play in the final third has been something we've spoken about a lot. You know, we've had it in other games, we just haven't had that last sort of end product to it, so it probably goes amiss because, you know, people just expect a goal, but, you know, it's been there for the last half a dozen to a dozen games. So, yeah, it's great, and, you know, that's soccer that I want to watch, is fast 1 and 2 touch play for sure.
When you're playing a team that's just coming off of a road game midweek and they're on short rest, does that factor into your game plan at all?
Well, we know that if you know, if things aren't going our way, that towards the end of the game that they're going to be more tired, because, you know, we've been in that position ourselves, and, you know, the message was, you know, at half time to stick to the game plan and trust each other, trust ourselves, and eventually, obviously, they, you know, will get that moment to go and score. So, you know, but to be fair, they had also been on a decent run themselves. So, you know, when you're doing well, you don't feel tired. It's only when, you know, things aren't going your way that fatigue creeps in.
Again, you get to play again in 4 days, but you have this positive momentum. Another week of 2 road matches on Wednesday and Sunday. Your expectations for the week in front of you?
No, we want to build on this, and as I said, it's a small step. It's great for the lads, though, that they've got 3 points. It's an immediate sort of response, so we've got to build on it and keep working hard, stay humble. We know things or results in the past haven't gone our way, so there's certainly no way of getting ahead of ourselves, but we have to stay committed together, follow the plans together, and we'll get the performances that we deserve.
Buddy, go enjoy it. You deserve this result tonight as well. Congratulations. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Greg. Cheers.
You got it. Max Rogers, interim head coach of the Indy 11. Again, he has picked up now 3 wins as the interim head coach of the Indy 11. 3 of the 6 the team has had so far this season. But the first two, I should say, have come on the road. June 20th against Sporting Kansas City 2, and then 10 days ago on August the 4th against FC Tulsa. And much like the last win, and kind of indicative of just how bunched up things are in terms of the Central Division, this win takes the Indy 11 from 7th back into a playoff position.
Right, but the opposite, when you look at the opposite of that, they're 6 points out of that position if they don't pull the 3 points tonight. So, you know, the way that they played on the field was one thing, but they put themselves back into the conversation, gave themselves a big shot of confidence right now. It's going to be exciting to see how this next stretch of games goes.
What's the biggest thing that you take from tonight in terms of saying, okay, this is how you have to play going forward? What do you bottle and then move with you to Loudon and on to Sporting Kansas City, too.
Well, I talked about it a couple times in the game. I really like the connectivity of keeping Iose and Law close together. I like the fact that they're on Hackshaw's side. He does a great job of picking and choosing when to go and joining them on the short combinations. And then you even see Arteaga coming out of the middle and offering another outlet for him. Those 4 players in that little bit of space playing 1 and 2 touches has been a difference maker.
Again, we'll talk to Nicky Law coming up here in just a matter of moments. Again, we have talked about how good he has been without maybe having the numerical data behind it in terms of a lot of goals, a lot of assists. Tonight was his night. Got the first goal, got the assist on the second goal. He's been good every match, and he leads this team in minutes played, and he is 15, 16 years into his career as a professional. Just how do you describe what he has meant to this club this year?
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. You take a look at goal and an assist, but there's also that ball that he slid in to Gordon Wild that almost would have been another assist. And you look and you say, okay, there's not the eye-popping numbers, but a lot of that was because the ask earlier in the season was for him to sit in the middle a little bit more. Now that he's pushing up higher, he's getting more touches and creating more opportunities for himself and for the other players up top.
All right, now he is joining us down on the field, and we mentioned goal and assist. He was just playing goalkeeper for the last few minutes. Who are the members of your team that are down there on the field with you right now, Nicky?
Just my little boy, Oscar. Yeah, he's 5. He's soccer mad, so any chance he gets, he's out there playing football, so soccer.
We know what you're talking about. You can say both. It's quite all right. And we can talk soccer with you all day. Let's talk about being a dad. Yeah. This is your first time in the States. Yeah. This is his first extended time in the States. Yeah. What's that like for you and your family?
Yeah, it's great. We've loved it. We loved every minute so far. As you say, my first time here to live, but we came here quite a lot on vacation. Any chance we got, we were always coming out to the States on our holidays, and it was always a place that we fancied coming out, and obviously for me to play football and for us to live and try something new. So as I say, we've enjoyed every minute. It's been great. It was nice to get a win tonight. Obviously, I say I've enjoyed every minute. I mean, we've had some disappointing results this season so far, so that side of it's maybe not been as enjoyable as I'd have hoped, but no, a good win tonight. Hopefully that'll springboard us onto a few more victories now.
And don't worry, Ursal's kids are babysitting him right now, so you're in good shape. He's okay behind the backdrop.
Hey, the interplay between you, Iose, and Arteaga is something that's really special. Do you start floating here by design to connect with those players, or is that something you're reading in the game?
Well, it was something from day one, really. As soon as I arrived, obviously recognized a player of Io's quality straight away, and I'd probably throw Hackshaw in there as well with that on that left side of that back three. He likes to get involved with us as well, but no, it's just something that's developed, as I say, from day one, really. Pre-season games all the way into the league. My role's changed quite a bit sometimes. I'm in the midfield or in the 10, and I've kind of played all over, but when I play, as you say, a little bit higher up in that 10, yeah, it's something I like to do, roam out more, as you say, to that left-hand side and kind of link up with those players, as you say, because they're fantastic players. And they make the game look easy, and it's enjoyable to play with them.
On the goal, a great ball slipped into you from Arteaga. Yeah. Cochran really comes out well, makes himself big in that moment. Are you already picking your spot in that moment, or are you waiting to see if he goes down or not?
Yeah, generally, when I get myself into those positions, if I see a keeper come at me quite fast, then I know that they're probably going to go down low, and that's just when I try and lift the ball over them. Doesn't work all the time. I had one of those this week in training. Jordan Farr just stood up and caught the ball and made me look stupid. So, yeah, it's just slightly risky doing it again in the game today. But, no, as you say, I saw Cochran coming at me quite fast and kind of going down low, and kind of made my mind up really to go a little bit higher and kind of chip it over him, and it was great to see it go in. Something I'd like to do more, score more goals, as you say, and maybe if I get a little bit run in the team, playing a little bit higher up, hopefully the goals will continue to come.
One more question. We'll let you go back to being a dad here at the end of the match as well. While we certainly love having you here, and it's great to hear you say you've enjoyed everything about the American experience so far, what is it like to be here with the Premier League season starting this weekend and the championship and other leagues kind of getting underway, to view that from so many thousand miles away? Yeah. What's that experience been like for you?
It's been enjoyable. As you say, I'm a big Man United fan, so I was pleased coming to the stadium today. I was up at 7 o'clock this morning with Oscar, ready to watch that game, and that was brilliant. And as you say, it's always exciting when the new season starts all over the world, not just in England, but obviously I think La Liga started today, the Bundesliga and things like that. Any game of football, obviously, we enjoy watching, but no, and it's nice because sometimes when the schedule back home wouldn't allow you to get all the games, whereas here it's 7:30 in the morning or 9 in the morning, so I don't miss a game now, so I'm enjoying that part of it as well. But no, obviously, as I say, great day. Man United winning this morning and us getting a win here at home, which was long overdue as well. So no, a great day, and hopefully that can be a little bit of as I say, a springboard to a few more victories, particularly here at home. The away record's not too bad, but the home record's not been good enough. So no, it's a good win tonight, which hopefully puts us up a little bit higher in the table. And yeah, hopefully we can push on from here now for the second half of the season.
As you can see, the goalkeeper's ready for his interview. We'll let him get to it.
Yeah.
Nicky, congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
For the time.
Thank you.
You got it, Nicky Law again, a goal and an assist tonight. And Jordan Farr will be joining us here coming up in just a matter of moments. As in typical Jordan Farr fashion, after the win, frankly, win or lose, he basically went around and talked to every person that was in the building and then comes over to hang with us as far as the post-game interview. Again, his first match since June 15th, and again, did not miss a beat, getting a win for the Indy 11 tonight. Jordan with us now. Good to see you back out there, buddy. How you feeling?
Thank you. Do I look at the camera or do you look at you guys?
You can go either way.